So, when I first started watching Kipo, I just wanted something light and kinda easy to recover myself after crying my eyes out at Anohana. And next thing I knew, I had finished the series within a few hours, and I had enjoyed one of the most pure and lovable animated shows I had seen in years. I'm Jamie, and this is Kipo and the Age of WONDERBEASTs. Now, Kipo has a very simple story. It's basically a find my way home story since Kipo, who had found themselves thrown out of her underground home and into the unknown surface world, and she proceeds to try and find her way back, and in doing so finds some truly lovable characters along the way. So yeah, with a setting this simple and kind of standard, it has to revolve entirely around the personality of the presentation to sell the show. And well damn, was I sold so hard.
Shut up and take my money!
Honestly, you know if you love this show before the end of episode 1. I certainly did, and my opinion only grew from there, but I can pinpoint the moment I knew it was something I would truly love, and that is this.
Hot damn!
What you just saw were the Timbercats, which personally I thought should have been called the Lumbercats, but hey, you can call yourself whatever the hell you want with this confidence. I love this kind of show, like Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, where it has a defined goal for the series, but is essentially an episodic show as it allows them to focus on different parts of this beautiful world they created. And oh my god, do I love every single creature inhabiting it. Kipo feels like a ray of warm sunshine, solving most problems with sheer optimism and a brilliant mind, with a view of the world that is only possible by someone who doesn't really have any preconceptions of others and takes them as they are, which would usually annoy me, but the other characters balance her out so well, with the badass survivor Wolf, whose emotional growth is something that warmed my cold dead heart. Wait just one damn minute, is Wolf trying to cook him alive? Because that's messed up. The least you can do is put them out their misery before you burn them alive. Like, you have a large pointy stick, use it, and then cook the animal, don't burn it alive. Just no. And admittedly, she did remind me of Toph from The Last Airbender, and in no way or situation is that ever a bad thing. However, if it was just these two, I could see the comedy running thin soon, hence Benson and Dave. I freaking love these two. Benson's probably the most balanced character, as he's definitely a survivor, but also so full of energy, and what he did for Kipo's birthday was easily my favourite moment in the show.
These are some of the worst jokes I've ever heard in my life. I think I love this ride.
Rats do love cheese. Oh man, now I'm doing it too.
Dave, however, is weird. I can't say much. He's weird, and I love him in whatever form he decides to fail into that day.
Nani?
Oh, and can't forget Mandu. I guess Mandu is the mascot, but also kind of acts as the moral compass at times. So, the characters are lovable, and as you can see from the clips I'm showing you, the animation is fairly solid with a beautiful art style that kind of reminds me of old school Teen Titans. That's it, right?
But wait! There's more!
The soundtrack to this show is so damn good. It's mostly a bunch of hip-hop beats that really hype up the action or comedy, or more lo-fi sounds for the calmer moments, but this show has musical-ish moments. Like actual musical moments. And I love that stuff as well, from the Timbercats singing The Legend of Yum Yan and the educational wolves, to the calm, sweet songs from Kipo and her dad. I would and am, while writing this script, listening to these songs still. Speaking of the sounds, the way the main villain of the show is introduced is sold entirely by the song he's playing, which genuinely made me uncomfortable. So as you can tell by the clips I'm showing, this is sort of a post-apocalyptic world, and in doing so, some of the joy of watching this is the creatures they show, and they don't disappoint. Enter Mega Bunnies, Dubstep Bees, the Giant Corgi, and oh yeah, Death Ivy. The character design feels so simple, it doesn't overcomplicate things, even the villain designs are simple, as it's their personality that sells them. And I'd like to talk about my personal favourite villain, and just in case you don't want any spoilers from episode 7, skip to this time in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So my personal favourite villain in this is Mulholland the Tardigrade, who puts the gang into a deep sleep to feed on them. While doing this, he makes them dream their perfect life. And I'm a sucker for these types of episodes because you get to know so much more about the characters than you would in most other situations. While I found Benson and Dave's dream adorable, that it was joint and their perfect world was them together dancing and being themselves. But the standouts were Kipo and Wolf's dream. Like, Kipo seemed to use it as a way to try and get used to how her body was changing, imagining how it would be easier to cope with her mum being alive. But if I had to be honest, Wolf's one is the more powerful, as Wolf's overly masculine dream of friendship with Kipo being broken by the guilt she feels about not handing her the clue from her dad. And that guilt manages to break the constraints of Mulholland. So Wolf is a badass in both the dream and real life, so she didn't need those overly masculine muscles to beat anyone. Respect. As well as this, Mulholland's cheerful and zen attitude throughout the whole ordeal makes what's happening to them feel unnervingly calm, especially with them not realizing that they are slipping closer to death with every second spent in paradise.
I don't get jealous, but if I did, I would be of me.
Okay, spoilers over. I'm not gonna say this is the deepest or most complex show ever, it's not. And the fast pace of the series doesn't allow the stories to really give the effect it could have. But what it delivers is something that cannot be understated, an unadulterated feeling of joy. Every aspect of this show hit me in the right spot, and the only negative I can point to is that there's only 10 episodes. But since this is a DreamWorks show, who knows, by the time a year's passed we might already have 3 seasons done. Shira. They have really been producing some solid animated shows, and when I need my non-anime fix, I know exactly who to run to. So Kipo and the Age of WONDERBEASTS, thank you so much, because you're awesome.
Hey, I'll take a fist to that.
Oops.
You are truly useless, Mute.